So we're in here, and this is a pain. We've talked about this game before. And there's a couple different situations here. There's the knee and my hip, and right now John's toes are overlapping each other. Sometimes people will lock their ankles. The toes are actually a little bit stronger because even though it seems like it would be weaker mechanically, because it's further down the lever, it actually keeps this really solid. So we'll look at both sides, but that's the situation. The other one is this guard where the knee's all the way up, and I've covered that separately, so I'm not going to go over that right now, even though there's some similarities. But right now I'm going to deal with this one. Okay? So one of the main things that people will talk about when your partner's legs are, they're not quite parallel, but they're almost parallel. Mostly, this is where people talk about the windshield wiper rotation of your lower leg. So what I mean is this. I just circle around here for a second. So you kind of see how John's bottom big toe is overlapping the small toe of his top foot, right? That, like I said, if you go ankles, like it's closed guard, a lot of people do that. It's a little bit weaker, even though it seems like it would be stronger. And the other thing is this is very easily accessible to leg lockers. Like they'll grab this and turn towards the legs for figure fours. Here, it slows that down. I have to like pry that open. It gives him time to react to it. So I like, for this particular guard, I like this position better. But in terms of doing a windshield wiper motion right here, this is more challenging when he's got a good bite, as opposed to if his feet are just parallel. In which case, once I've come in here and done everything else, right, I can actually make that little windshield wiper motion, just beat it with that alone. So as I flare my foot out, okay, my hip drops in to actually bring his knees together, and then as I bring it back in, I'm here, and now I can start to sprawl and pass. And I do want you to be sensitive to that option, because anytime he opens his feet and you feel like for a second, oh, that pressure releases, you feel that that's because the feet open, and now he doesn't have quite as strong of a structure, and go for that immediately. It's just like any time from top, if John doesn't feel me controlling his bottom leg, he's going to do what? He's going to immediately pull guard. Well, it's the same thing. I've got an opening there I want to exploit at any point, so just keep that in mind. Right now, though, we're going to deal with, he's got his toes locked, and now this is a little bit more of a problem. And one of the things from here you'll notice is that the more that I try and drive into him to collapse this or to get to his upper body, the more uncomfortable it is for me. This can be very painful. Sometimes John will even prop up onto his own elbow or something, and as he drives this in, it almost can make you it can almost knock you over. There's sweeps he can initiate just from the discomfort of this, okay? It's very tough. So one of the things, and the first thing I'm going to talk about, and again from here, I'm controlling both sides of his body, always the bottom leg, and always this hip. But now I've lost the initial part of the game, which is to keep this leg from coming in between my arm and my body. Now I've got to deal with it. So one of the first things I'm going to do from here, okay, is rock onto my feet. I'm actually going to take a step back, because my first option here sometimes, before I try and break this down, is simply to say, if this guy's got a really tough knee-in position like this, and I know that once he starts to get his grips going and everything, it's going to be a problem, is sometimes I'll just simply choose to reset myself out of this position, because right now, no matter what I do, I'm going to have to contend with this. So, control both sides of the body, rock onto the feet, and now I'm just going to take a step back away from his ability to dive under this leg here, and you notice what happens. At the same time, I go from holding his knee down to picking it up, and I drop my elbow inside. Okay? So for just a second here, now I've got the ability, if I want to stay in half guard, to come in here, and I've changed the angle, and now we're back into the same passes that we worked before. So that's one option. Second option is, as I drop my elbow back inside, I know I don't have a long window here, he's going to be starting to react to me, but I can now pick up my other leg, right, and now I can start to pass over. Okay, so I've got knee slides, and we're into the whole game here, where again, let's say he really tries to get this leg out. Now I can start to smear and bring him over to the other side. So, quite short from your other hip. So first one, controlling both sides. I'm going to rock onto my toes, okay, because I need to have my base available underneath. Take a step back, and immediately as I do this, okay, I'm picking this up so my hand goes from here to here, and I drop this elbow inside. And now I can start to slide in, make sure that my underhook comes in and I seal my shoulder to his body so he can't repummel and get to my back. So this is the fight in here, and now I'm good to go to start passing through half guard. Second option, as I do this, is to bring this knee up, and now I've got all my passing options from here. All right? So I want you guys to play around with that first. So easiest solution sometimes is if I feel that the wall there is stronger than my ability to break down the wall, I simply say, let me walk around the building instead. And that's what this first option is. Okay?